Over to you, Thomas.
Thank you so much, Aisha. And let's continue dishing the breakfast with some exciting sport in action. I am Monday Thomas. I'm pleased as sponge to be with you. Alongside me is MC Samm. Good morning, MC Samm.
Good morning.
Quite an exciting week, and now we are on to the weekend. But first of all, let's quickly take a look at what we saw over the week. I mean, some actions in the UFC and as well as in basketball, not forgetting the FIFA Club World Cup. So shall we begin by talking about what we saw on Sunday? Kamaru Usman, the Nigerian nightmare, returning to winning ways after almost 4 years of inactivity, and also returning to the welterweight, UFC welterweight top 5 after a victory against Joaquin Buckley of America right there in Atlanta UFC. On Monday, we saw the first ever fixture of an English side taking on an American side, the first ever major competition where we saw Chelsea beat LA Galaxy by 2-0. On Tuesday, we saw Game 5 of the NBA. Oklahoma City Thunders with triumphant in Game 5, but later on in Game 6, it was Indiana Pacers who were able to level things, forcing Game 7 on Sunday. On Wednesday, we saw the Premier League keeping us on our toes as they released the fixtures for the 2025-2026 Premier League actions. We're going to take a look at the first fixtures and possibly have a conversation on it. On Thursday, it was shocking upsets at the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup, where Botafogo, the South American Giants, were victorious against European Giants. And that was the first time since 2012 that we've seen a European champion lose in the FIFA Club World Cup, beaten by a South American side. The last time we saw it was in 2012, and it was Chelsea beaten by Corinthians. And on Friday, we saw the Super Falcons as they continue their hunt for the 10th Women's Cup of Nations. I mean, coming up in July, it's going to be the Women's Cup of Nations in Morocco. And coach Justin Madugu has released his 24-man squad. Saturday today happens to be a new one for the Five Stars Premier League, as they have their conference today, their press conference, as they will be preparing their draws, and as well as having a seminar later on today as it concerns the 7th season coming our way in a week from now. Now let's get the conversation on the way, and we can't start without taking a look at the game of the week. All right, while we wait for the game of the week, let's quickly have a conversation right now. The game of the week is going to come up in no time, but first of all, let's talk about Paris Saint-Germain losing to Botafogo. I mean, it's not the first time we are seeing a European champion lose in the FIFA Club World Cup, beaten by a South American side. The last time it was in 2012, Corinthians beating Chelsea. What do you make of it?
First of all, with that cause, one thing I agree with is, when we were growing up, they used to say Brazil is the home of football, right? And
they say the Englishmen may have invented football, but the Brazilians redefined it. And
they proved it right, because if you watch that match, the fun thing is, yes, PSG they were topping the game. The possession was 75-25, but just 4 shots on target. No, sorry, 2 shots on target. Just 2 shots on target. While Botafogo had 4 shots, 4 shots and 4 on target. Then they had, but PSG had 20 shots, but not on target. So it's not like a lucky game. No, they played well. Botafogo played well. 4 shots, 4 on target, and they won 1-0. So they proved it that Brazil football was made for them. You remember when we were growing up, when we used to have Kaká, Ronaldinho, we used to be the best players are Brazilians.
Well, don't remind me when I was growing up, because when I was growing up at the age of 7, I was already tagged Ronaldo de Lima. I was so good at street football, but that's just history. Now, talking about history, let's take a look at the FIFA Club World Cup. I mean, last weekend, I remember talking to you, and you told me that it's about FIFA generating revenue for themselves. Well, we've seen how incredible the tournament has been, very feisty. The South American side, not until last night that Bayern Munich beat Boca Juniors by 2-1. A hard-fought victory for Bayern Munich. They had to wait until the 84th minute before the winning goal. Now, if you take a look at what has been happening, we've seen Botafogo beat PSG. We've seen Flamengo beat Chelsea. We've seen Inter Milan struggle to even get a point I mean, it's been an incredible. Are you going to stick to your guns, or are you going to change your mind on saying FIFA are generating money for themselves?
To be honest, I'll change my mind because,
Right.
first of all, Chelsea losing to Flamengo gave me a lot of joy. I remember when Chelsea lost that match, the first person that came to my mind was my boss, Andy Madaki. I was like, oh, thank God. No, did I say thank God? That's a mistake. But I was so happy Chelsea losing to that match. And it's well proven that they are making it competitive and it's really interesting to watch.
All right, since we are talking about Chelsea, let's quickly take a look at the kickoff, the first match day that we're going to see for the 2025-2026 Premier League season. And of course, time is not much of our friend this morning, so we need to have a quick run of it. Premier League encounters as we are waiting the new season 2025-2026. I mean, Arsenal are going to be taking on Manchester United. It's going to be a very feisty start to the new season. And a lot of people are expecting a whole lot. What are you expecting, I mean, for your side? I mean, you're never shy from letting people know that you're a number one Arsenal fan.
It's well now proven that anytime Arsenal, the last time Arsenal carried second 3 times straight, the 4th season they won the league. So I believe we're going to win the league this time around.
So what's your Chelsea? How about Chelsea, Manchester City with their numbers of signing, Manchester United as well?
To make my boss smile, Chelsea will be in top 4. I wish, should I say I pray for, I wish so, one of them.
Incredible actions we saw over the week, and I mean Premier League action returning in August. But let's not forget that in July we are going to have the Women's Cup of Nation, and Coach Justin Madugu, the head coach of the Super Falcons of Nigeria, has released his 24-man squad, and of course having the likes of Asisha Oshola, who's going to be featuring in the tournament for the 7th time, having won it for 3 times. The likes of Francis Odegaard is right there. Francisca Odegaard, I beg your pardon for that mispronunciation of the lady right there. And also not forgetting the likes of Sinachi Ohale, number 1 goalkeeper. We're going to have Chiamaka Nadozie featuring for the Super Falcons of Nigeria come the 6th of July. They're going to take on Tunisia before they take on Botswana and as well as Algeria. Let's quickly have a rundown of what we saw last night as it concerns the NBA Game 6, where Indiana Pacers were able to force Game 7 that is going to happen on Sunday. We know the best 2 words in sports, according to Bill Russell, is Game 7. And Game 7 is going to settle things as far as the championship is concerned. Because of time and the lack of it, wanted us to see the assist of the week, but we have to wrap things up. Thank you so much, MC Sam. I remain Monday Thomas. And over to you, Andy.
Thank you, Monday, and no thanks to Sam. Sam is just a Chelsea hater. And I still believe with the signings which are in the works, Chelsea is going to do extraordinarily well. We got into Champions League, and so we're doing really well. But I think it's interesting seeing the Club World Cup and how competitive it has been. I wonder how consistent the different rules which keep on coming up would affect the game as it is. But thanks so much, gentlemen. For basketball, I'm also looking forward. Who do you think would win the finals?
I am very biased about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander,
no.
one of my favorite players, so I'm rooting for the Oklahoma City Thunders.
You know, I want the Pacers to win, just so maybe Halliburton could get finals MVP.
Tyrese,
Yeah,
definitely. But Game 7 is in Oklahoma.
That's going to be a tough one.
Definitely.
It is going to be a tough one. But they did really well in the last game. So
They have a good comeback story this season as far as the playoffs
we'll
is concerned.
see. Right, that's the much we can take on today's episode of The Weekend Show. You can watch this episode on YouTube at Weekend Show NG. Well, all social media platforms. You can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok.